any of you guys headbanging to White Bat Audio's music there? I don't know. I'm always headbanging to that. That's cool shit, man. I love it. Anyways, welcome Monday morning here, and oh my god, my psoriasis is killing me. Ugh. But anyways, I'm glad to be here, and after a pretty good show last night with Mark of Haunted the Truth or Haunted Truth. Really enjoyed having him on. So if you didn't catch the show, go check it out. Like and subscribe. Guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. Yeah, so I just figured I'd come in here for a little bit, have a little bit of time for Sting Monday morning here. Well, it's getting close to the afternoon. It's like 10:46 a.m. here. And the day before the possible great trade war with Trump. Yeah, we'll see what happens, right? We'll see what happens. We'll see if he wants to slap the tariffs on and literally destroy, I don't know, the world as we know it. Really. And I'm not going to get too much into that because I don't want to. I don't know about you, but I'm really sick and tired of hearing about this shit. It's so much stupid rhetoric, and the amount of stupidity out there is amazing. It's just mind baffling, you know. But yeah, that's just the way the world is these days. You know, social media and everything else blowing shit up. People taking things so literal. Um, and if anything, people know what to exploit because it bothers the shit out of you. Hey, Phantoms of Yore, how are you? Good morning. It bothers the shit out of you, and you know what? They're going to run with it, and that's the way it's going to happen. Yeah, regardless, until you show that it doesn't, it doesn't offend you, it doesn't affect you in any way. They're going to keep ribbing it in there, keep digging in every last minute of it, as long as it's effective enough. But anyways, I'm not even going to get into that shit. Like I said, last night we'd had a pretty good show with Mark of Haunted Truth from the UK. Hey, Bud Files, how are you? And I I like it when being in this field for close to 30 years now, and it's really good to see some people still have common sense. you know they're responsible in their approach to the paranormal, because it's rare. It is very rare. I mean, now with the onslaught of you know the content creators on YouTube and other social platforms, that seems to be the new investigative realm, if you will. And it's really sad because it's just about the important key is to create content to entertain people, to get likes and subscribes and whatever else. I don't know, whatever. But I mean, that's what drives the paranormal now, it seems. And it's sad. It's very sad. I mean, I'm not against people creating content and displaying it in a responsible manner. But a lot of these people aren't. It's not even worth it. It's yeah. I mean, I have put content out there, but I mean, for the most part, my the investigations that I've been a part of over the years are just that. It's ongoing research, investigations, collecting data, and there's the odd time that I have presented content out for people to watch, to view, and leave the question open, what exactly is the paranormal? Is it real? Is it a real thing? Is it one of the greatest con jobs out there? I mean, we really don't know. That's why it's called the great unknown. It's an unknown factor. I mean, there's something going on, but what is it? I mean, are we a part of some vast network called the Matrix? Is the wool being pulled over our eyes into believing that there are ghosts and spirits and demons and so on and so on? I fucking hate that. Demons, oh my god, demons. I don't know about you, but I've been demon to death, you know and you know it's a constant thing. It really is. It's a constant thing that demons, are they real? I mean, like I said, I've never come across anything remotely close to what many people would consider a demon, or text would consider a demon. 99.9% of what has been claimed as a demon in my books has been explained as something else. Nothing demonic. If anything is demonic in this world, it's humans. Humans are evil fucking creatures. We are evil. We can do the scariest fucking things, and we're evil. And the prime example is what's going on in the world today, and constantly going on, showing just how evil people can be. The 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 acts that humans are a part of that create, the display of inhumane aspects is just incredible. When I started doing this, getting, researching and investigating the paranormal, it was to, try to explain, is there really a paranormal realm? And over the years, of course, as I gained more and more experience doing this, because it's a constant learning experience. I'm constantly learning, as any responsible person who deals with the paranormal would tell you. It's a constant learning experience. We're all students. We're continuously students. Hey Barry, how are you? Good to see you. We're constantly students, and there's one thing that has gained is the amount of skepticism. I don't outright debunk. There's times when debunking needs to be in place, but I mean, for the most part, scrutiny and criticism are important. You need to be skeptical. You really do. Um, yeah, exactly. I mean, I, there's been I can't count the amount of cases that we've investigated or been a part of that people were claiming of demonic activity or possession or infestation, and never, not once has it ever been the root cause of what was going on. Never. And I'll be brutally honest. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of even local groups, going out there and presenting, and I don't have a problem showing examples of this, but people going into homes and telling the location owner, the homeowners or whatever, that they have some sort of demonic infestation in their home. It's sad. It's really sad. And again, once I well, like demonic, if anything equates closely to what demonic means, humans. Humans are evil, just evil. We are the demons. Really. I mean, yeah, so the horns are invisible, but they're there on some people. They really are. It's so scary. So I just whatever. But I mean, even though the skepticism has grown over the years of doing this, I've always maintained that there is something going on. There really is something going on, and it's only a matter of time before science and so on can explain what's going like piece by piece, and it has been over the years. But I've found it quite stagnant because literally a lot of this crap that's on TV and again, you gotta know the difference. Entertainment. To me, it's knocked any advancements back to the Stone Age, to be honest, because people don't even look at the authentic people who really put forth 100% of their time into researching, experimenting, and investigating the paranormal. Right? The ones that push the boundaries of scientific theories. There are a lot of people out there that do this, but they're in the background. They're not worried about their work being showcased. Hey, Wayne, how are you? They're not worried about their work being showcased on YouTube or website or whatever else. They're collecting the important data. They're pushing the boundaries. Well, you got these idiots, you know, creating content and saying, "Oh, well, I've got proof of the paranormal. Look at paranormal activity. Look, I've got proof of ghosts. Ghosts do exist." And making everyone else look fucking retarded and silly. Ooh, are you allowed to say that word retarded? I did. So oops. But silly, really, honestly. And at this in the same token, if you're going to debunk, then you have to be responsible about it because I mean, realistically, you're in the same boat as that person who's faking because you really don't have the information necessary to debunk. I mean, you might notice something and you might call something out that's obvious and that's hey, that needs to be in place. But I mean, when you start to personally attack people, when it becomes personal, it's like, come on, you're just as bad as the fucking guy faking. You really are, if not worse. Then it becomes a squabble. Kind of like this fucking trade war that might be going into place. Pure stupidity, but whatever. Like I said, it's that is the state of things right now. Really, and it's really sad. I mean, it's really hard to find people who are genuinely intrigued and invested in wanting to know the actual questions and seeking the actual questions by actually doing the hardcore research. I mean, it's easy enough to do, research on the history of a location, but it's harder to sort of connect the dots between what possibly might be paranormal and the history of that location. I mean, hey, if you have something that kind of makes well, you know, people go, "Wow, okay, let's look at this further." Well, I have a really good finding here, and it kind of makes sense because it kind of goes with the history, and is that proof? Not necessarily, but it is a step forward. It's a step forward. It's you know It's a location. You have a location, and I think the most important, some of the most important points and aspects of investigating a location, if you will, is pinning your findings to the history or the possible history. And most history is known for a lot of these locations, but you know what? There's a lot of histories that are still not in the books, that are behind the scenes. I mean, say perhaps somebody's murdered in a home years ago, 60, 70 years ago, and the murder is unsolved. They just know they were murdered, and these are theories. But can the paranormal sort of bring forth the answers to those theories? Hey, David, how are you? I mean, it's quite possible. I'm not saying it is possible. It's quite possible that the paranormal aspects, the unknown aspects that you're kind of trying to draw out with different techniques that you might be using or employing in investigating and doing your research, you know, can it explain a little bit more than what the history's telling you? It is very possible. And again, if you cross all your T's and dot all your I's, you've got well, I wouldn't necessarily say evidence, but you have something that you could, might be able to further, and people would, take notice and say, look, I think you might have something here. I think you might have something, you know? Um, Bigfoot is a lie. Oh, well, there's another topic for another day. Bigfoot. I mean, again, like a lot of things in the paranormal, cryptozoology is intriguing. I mean, I've had an experience years ago myself, and to this day, I cannot explain what I witnessed, but I can't, you know, blurt out, "Look at I saw a creature." I did see what could call a creature, but I mean, is it an undocumented animal? Is it a, maybe something that hasn't been seen in years in the area? Is it something mangy? I mean, all those questions were put to place, and none of them made sense. I mean, from my sort of experience, what I saw. And again, the question and the information and so on and so on was given to people, experts in animals and zoologists and hunters and so on and so on, that might have some sort of answer to what I'd witnessed. And none of them could come up with an answer. None of them, because I mean, the area where I witnessed, it didn't make sense. Obviously, somebody would say a mangy bear, but there are no bears in the area, right? And especially something that can stand on its hind legs for at least 5 to 10 minutes so smoothly. And then when it dropped back down on all fours, it just didn't make sense. Um, Yeah, oh yeah, fish. You're seeing that quite often. You're seeing fish that haven't been seen in years, and only fish that generally are impacted by the environment. And one of those is the mysterious oarfish was beached, and usually oarfish are the depths that they are usually. inhabiting, or we don't normally see them. Um, no, it wasn't a coyote. There was absolutely no way this thing was, even though it did look like a coyote, it doesn't make sense why it was standing on its hind legs like that. I honestly, for that amount of time, I mean, coyotes could, but not for very long. It just doesn't make sense, you know. But like I said, I leave it open. I've been, keeping an eye on other accounts in that area that might have witnessed something similar, and there has been over the years. And I mean, I always kind of, you know, put it up against a case that happened in 1978 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, which has been coined the Toronto Tunnel Creature. A man had witnessed, well, running after his dog. His dog, um, it wasn't on a leash, and it ran into this storm system. And The guy went in after it and had witnessed this strange creature that stood on its hind legs. And again, when I saw the picture, I'm like, wow, it looks kind of similar to what I seen. Minus the glowing eyes. And I mean, we all know animals, the eyes have the ability to reflect light, and red and orange hues. So, I mean, I didn't have that kind of experience with what I didn't see any glowing eyes. So, it was Alex and full moon. Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. Yeah, wouldn't doubt it. Good old Alex. Alex, if you're watching and listening, pipe in. Come on, defend yourself. Uh, but yeah, it's intriguing. But I mean, the question has been around for years, hundreds of years, if not close to thousands of years, as long as we've been, um, you know, domesticated, if you will, or even, live in a paganistic sort of hunter gatherer sort of lifestyle. I mean, what is the paranormal? What is the unknown? And again, back years ago, these spirits and these myths and legend were born out of the environment and the locations that these people lived in. Um, so did you actually see something and you did you did think it was the Easter Bunny, or is it just you're just being a con job? That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, Dogman it was another possibility. Again, like, I don't know how vested I am in Dogman. Um, I mean, it's an intriguing sort of aspect of, but do I believe it? I don't know. I'm kind of sitting on the fence with it. You know, it's kind of like the eastern coyote and the wolf, or sorry, the coyote and the wolf crossbreeding, and creating the eastern coyote. And the eastern coyote has the terminology coy wolf, and but it's not recognized by officials as but it's just a terminology. And people, when you say the word kai wolf, they simply go, That's bullshit. There's nothing that nothing exists that doesn't exist." I'm like, well, technically it does. The eastern coyote does exist and has existed for quite a while now, you know? And this is like a lot of similar species, they interbred and they, you start seeing hybrids, right? Closely related, a canine. I mean, we're talking about coyotes mating with, dogs as well. I mean, it's a thing. It happens. It happens, and these things again are a reality. I mean, these eastern coyotes, they have that sort of domesticated gene in them, due to, down the line, mating with a dog, a canine. So their fear of humans literally are thrown out the window. They're more inquisitive than anything, and they're more daring. Let's see. They're more daring, and they're they're not going to shy away. It takes more for them to run away. Let's see here. I'm just reading. Yeah, that's another thing. You hear quite a lot about gnomes. Yeah, I mean, yeah, gnomes. Just reading the chat here. Yeah, there's a lot of things out there in the supernatural world, if you will. You are Smurf, Tim. uh, I there are things that quite similar, but have different names out there. You know, because of different regions. I mean, you look at, again, you look at Bigfoot. I mean, there are different sort of variations on people, on Bigfoot, depending on the region or country you're in. I mean, you have Sasquatch, the abominable snowman, Bigfoot. You go down far as Florida, and you got the skunk ape. And there's so many different variations to Bigfoot. I mean, again, are these people seeing the same thing? You look at the evolution of humans, and when again, you humans over the years have adopted to their environments. If you're in a hot environment, your genes, your body, your DNA adopts to it over so many years, right? It takes thousands of years, but I mean, when the human race has been in a certain part of the world, it's taken, hundreds, if not thousands of years to have that, adjustment, if you will. Maybe the pigmentation of your skin, the your eyes, the shape of your eyes, it could be anything, and you see it obviously, the different species of humans. I mean, I don't want to say different species of humans, but the cultural differences that span across the world are, and due part really to evolution in certain areas of the world, right? Adapting to their environments, and the human species is good at that, but not as good as some other animals, obviously. There are a lot more animals that will quickly adopt, like a chameleon, that will adapt to its environment like that, split second. But in order to develop that adaptation, it probably took thousands of years. And you sit there and go, why? Why would it do that? Why would it develop that chameleon aspect of blending in with its environment? What would cause that development over thousands of years? So again, I mean, eye color, so many different ears. Why? I mean, and then the answers are in the environment. The environment, for the most part, where a lot of these sort of species are located. So, but now we're really like fraying off into a whole different tangent. We don't need to go there. So I keep going back to the paranormal. Ultimately, proof of the paranormal is unattainable. Proof falls on the perception of the experience. Yeah, yeah, you are. Yeah, exactly. The cause of so much drama. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's like really. I mean, if science can't explain it, then obviously we're gonna have a hard time understanding it. But I mean, I think if you're going to, and it still applies now. I mean, now more than ever, um, if you're, you know, thinking about wanting to research and investigate the paranormal, you really do need to do your homework. It's not as easy as TV makes it look like, or social media, whatever. As simple as getting these trinkets and tools, and the art of applying them in the environment. I mean, you have to understand those tools. I mean, that's important, and that's what I mean. Doing the legwork, doing the research. You really need to understand why you have that tool and how it works, especially a camera, a video camera, an EMF meter, and so on and so on. You need to understand why and how it works, what it's used for, and get the notion out that it's used to detect ghosts or the paranormal. It's not. It never was. Right? Well, I know exactly, Art. Exactly. They don't care, and that's the problem. And they want the experience. But how do you know you have that experience? And that's the thing. You can't explain that. You can't explain if you truly have that experience or not, when realistically you experienced a natural phenomena, right? You have to understand what you're experiencing, I think. And again, yeah, you're right. People just don't want to know the truth. They don't want. It's like when you go into a home and you want to investigate or people want you to investigate the possibility of their house being haunted, and you're going in only one time for a few hours. You truly can't say that it's haunted or not. And then you have to raise that question to the owner who's asking. Look at I are you prepared? Uh, you know to hear that your house isn't haunted. It's in fact very, very easily explained what's happening. Are you prepared for that? And a lot of homeowners will say no. It is haunted. I know it is. So I mean, you have to deal with that too. Fear is a source of excitement, entertainment for thrill seekers that try. Well, that's ghost hunting. Yeah, well, yeah, to a T. I'm not really talking about ghost hunting, to be honest. More investigating the paranormal, and researching it. The grassroots, not ghost hunting. Ghost hunting, we all know, is thrill seeking. Realistically, that's all it is, thrill seeking. The art of thrill. The art of thrill. And I'm not actively, and never have been actively, out to look for ghosts. I've never looked for ghosts. That's never been my thing. It's not about looking for ghosts. It's about trying to explain what people are experiencing, right? It's never about ghosts. I think that's a misconception with a lot of people when they look at the paranormal. It's about looking for ghosts. No, absolutely not. Exactly. Yep. And there's many of them. A lot of them. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. And they haven't got a clue to apply the science. They just haven't got a clue. And you really do need to apply the science. The science is there as guidance. Uh, yes, you have to be open-minded, Wayne, but at the same time, you really need to be vigilant about that open mind. Is there a university? Yeah, there are a few universities, I believe, that do openly study the paranormal. Offhand, I don't know, but I know there's a couple in the U.S. There was one up here in Canada that actively um, studies the paranormal. Now I don't know the UK. The UK does. I do believe they have one in the UK as well, or a couple. Um, uh, I know there was somebody for the longest time in the University of Toronto, the U of T. Christopher, what was his name? He was a university professor who um, who was looking at the paranormal through a very, very unique way, and that was zero point energy, um, and the metaphysical sort of realm that does exist. It's just a matter of how we are able to, understand it. It's the unseen world, really, and I mean, it is there. I mean, again, we just people, humans, like to have tangibility within their own senses. But I mean, there are things that exist outside those, the basic senses that we have, humans have, and many of it we've lost over the years of domestication, where other animals have been able to retain it, sensing a shift, if you will, a shift in the environment where we're in some cases still kind of have been able to retain it, but not able to utilize it. Where back in the day we were able to utilize it, we were able to understand it, to uh, you know, um, and again, certain things that kind of pop out, that things that we've understood that were a part of that are part of the unseen world still. And that, things from germs to carbon monoxide to EMF frequencies. These are things that are part of the unseen world, the metaphysical sort of world, and especially frequencies, energy and frequencies. And I guess his study, trying to equate it to the paranormal, if you will, It was, pretty extreme, and, I know they didn't it didn't last long at the U of T. I was there for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years, something like that. We had him on the show. What was his name? Christopher. Let me I'll bring up his, work. Hold on, let me just see. I think he's passed away since, though. I do, let me just look for it here. Uh I don't even know. He did have a Facebook, but I gotta pull up the. Let me just see. Bear with me. I don't think his Facebook page is still available. I think because he passed away, and I think they've taken down his Facebook. But let me see if I can find. I have to get the. I have to get his. The show up in the vaults. Rather intriguing. Let me see if I can find it here. I got so many. Uh, and this was probably God in the beginning. We had him on probably I think it was in the first or second season of the show, which was 2008, 2009, 2010, somewhere around there. So I'm just going back through the archives here to see if I can find it. Rather intriguing. Let me just kind of let me see if I can expand it a bit. No, that doesn't help. It's one of the older shows, so it's harder to find. Where are we? Wow. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to spend some time looking for it because it's hidden very well here. And let me say, I've got a lot of. Hold on. Hold on. Let me just. Okay, maybe I can find it here. Once again, bear with me, guys. Let me just. Again, let me just see if I can expand this. There we go. Uh, Yeah, wow. Not there. Not there. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look for it. Yeah, like I said, there's so many episodes. It's 200 there. Wow. Anyways, but like I said, he didn't. I think they literally let him go from teaching at the University of Toronto because of the curriculum wasn't didn't fit in with the U of T. It was just too far out there for, I guess, their standards, if you will. And it's really really scary because I mean I do think it's very important to sort of if anything study and understand the metaphysical world, because I mean I think a lot of the answers to the paranormal within that realm. And again, most people, science will tell you that's pseudoscience. Well, it realistically isn't pseudoscience. It's a reality. I mean, metaphysical world is there. It is there. It's just a matter of, again, trying to understand it. Let's just read the chat. Hey B, how are you? Uh, but anyways, that's a whole different story. Let me see. Yeah, so I mean it just schools out there that study the paranormal do exist. Again, do they would list it as a pseudo psychology is basically hold on, let me parapsychology. Let's see. Let's see here. Uh, okay, let me see. The University of Edinburgh has a parapsychology course, which I'm not surprised. Let's see. Interesting. The Coastler Parapsychology Unit. It's called. Uh, there's one oh, okay. So there's a couple here in Canada as well. There's let's see here. Uh, there's University of Glasgow that has it, which is in Nova Scotia, I believe. And then sorry, St. Mary's University in Halifax and University of Ottawa have courses that you can take. Let's see, worldwide. University of Virginia has an interesting course. The survival of consciousness after bodily death, near death experiences, and out of body experiences. So they do exist. Hey Gareth, how are you? Yo, what's going on, buddy? Thank you. I will have a look at that and listen to it and see if I can sort of harness anything that might be of interest to you. So thanks for sending it, dude. Appreciate it. But yeah, I mean, there's lots of universities out there, a lot of colleges and schools, sort of, uh, you know, schools out there that do have courses that teach in parapsychology and so on and so on. Now, again, that's just in this day and age, still it is considered pseudoscience. It's not considered science until science can explain or explain that piece of pseudoscience, if you will. But still, I think it's very, very important if you're really serious about the paranormal, if you're really really, really serious about wanting to investigate the paranormal, you really have to teach yourself and learn and research how to do it properly. And I think a parapsychology course would be a great start. Reading books. I mean, and again, you want to look at the authors, the people that are presenting this material out there, and look at their background. Um, you might be able to find something online, but then again, I'm always worried about that kind of stuff because, again, you could be, wanting you to pay for crap. Again, you sit there and go, who certified the certifier? How are you a fucking, expert in the paranormal? That sort of thing. There are lots of claims out there that people claim that they're experts in the paranormal. That's just bogus. Certified is bogus. How can you certify something that is completely unknown to us? You can get a degree. You can get a degree in parapsychology. Sure, absolutely. That doesn't mean you're an expert. You just passed the course that was given to you. You have a little bit more knowledge uh, than the average person, but it might give you a better perspective on how to sort of investigate and research and where to look and what to do and how to use tools and so on and so on. No, there are no experts. And sadly, there are people that will continuously tell you that they're an expert. There are people who are experienced, like anything, experienced through their experiences over the years. Um, and those that take data, those that have been collecting data and comparing the data to what might be out there, in the science world realm, if you want to, certain phenomena. How do you explain them? I mean, science explains a lot of phenomena that people have no fucking clue about. None. Absolutely. Completely lost. Walking in around us, a square room in a circle because they can't find the exit. Yeah. You need to collect data. You need to compare it. You need to have people review it. You need to be peer reviewed. Yeah, that's a good start. Great start. Taking your data, your research, and bringing it to the next level, and have people who are in the know look that data over and let them come to let these people come to a conclusion. Does your research, does your data further our look into the great unknown? I mean, you'll never know, right, until you take it to the right people. Always been interested in the paranormal. I'm usually on the fence about it, and spending a lot of time in the dark. You can hear it. Absolutely, and I think that's like a lot of people, Gareth. I think the paranormal and the thought of uncertainty, the thought of the unknown has fascinated everybody, I think, for the most part. Now, uh, you know, how much further do you take that other than, sitting on the fence? Yeah, I think something's going on. I like to believe something's going on, but what is it? I mean, you have people that believe that, nothing happens. There's not no life after death. Once you die, that's it. That's the extent of your time here on earth. And that's perfectly normal. That's perfectly okay for people to believe. I mean, if they want to believe that, then fine. And then you have your school of thought that no, your time here on earth doesn't come to an end. It only transitions, uh, you know, into a different realm, if you will, you know. And I mean, again, you look at texts like the Tibetan Book of the Dead, which is there was written to help you prepare yourself for death, for the time, for when your time comes, and what you need to do if you are able to sort of understand what's happening to you if we do after death, right? Uh, I mean, the mindset is that we here hold on to the physical sort of aspect of life. And people are reincarnated because they can't let go of that sort of physical sort of aspect of life. Therefore, they're thrown back into the mix and you go back in and are reincarnated. But if you're able to let go of the physical sort of aspects of life, then you are you have reached the next level, if you will. And that next level is becoming one with the ethra, if you will, the ethra, the real life, the non-physical sort of realm, um, eternity, if you will. I don't know, but the wording I can't remember in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. But the thing is, um, and that's the problem. I mean, humans rely on physicality. I mean, you're frightened and unaware of if things weren't physical, if you're able to look at this three-dimensional world, look at from a non-physicality sort of aspect, things would be a lot different as you go through life. You know, I mean, you look at how humans have emotion. Humans, hurt, pain, happiness. If you're able to sort of resist all that, think about pain. I mean, condition yourself to not feel that sort of physical aspect of pain, the damage being done to your physical vessel. I mean, Tibetan monks have done that for years, for generations. I mean, if you look at the famous photos that were taken of during the Vietnam War, and that monk, the Tibetan monk, setting himself on fire and literally just sitting there and not reacting to the pain. the overwhelming pain that monk must have been in, but he was able to resist it. It's a scary thought, but I mean, this is achievable. It's very achievable. But I mean, it's a lifelong experience. It's a lifelong journey. And it to think, and again, this is what I mean. This is the certain things that you learn in your sort of physical realm, this physical realm that we call life, to prepare yourself for the next phase of life when you die. Right? When you die, it becomes a non-physical sort of aspect. The spiritual sort of zen, if you will. And hey, Stephen, how are you? Good to see you, man. I mean, a lot of people will, again, like I said, you can't let go of the physical sort of materialistic things that we collect in life. Money and so on and so on. Trinkets. You can't bring them with you. You can't bring them once you die. You die. Those physical sort of materialistic things stay here, and you can't die. I mean, you can't bring them with you when you die. Hey, Neil, good to see you, buddy. Hope all's well, mate. Um, yes and no. Yes and no. I mean, the paranormal. There's obviously a lot of myth and lore to it, but I mean, there is something going on. There really is. And again, like I said, science has explained some of it over the years. I mean, you look at germs and a lot of the unseen world that we thought was non-existent does exist, and was explained by science to be there. Now we can take readings to understand it, like exact, EMF, carbon monoxide, germs. These were all things that were witchcraft, if you will. Witchcraft, you know, that were explained. So I mean, it's there. Something's going on. We just don't understand it in our current understanding uh, to date. And is it only a matter of time before we do achieve that sort of knowledge? Maybe, maybe not. And again, the age-old question of death, right? I mean, what happens to us? Again, that is the $1 million question. Now it's probably a $1 billion question. If you can explain to us what happens after life, because science can't. I mean, until science can explain certain things about it, but it can't explain what exactly happens. I mean, if you're an atheist, you simply say nothing. That's fine. That's your views. And again, a lot of, well, there you go, Tim. Nothing. You're boring. But I mean, nothing in the physical sort of aspect of life, nothing happens. You die. That's it. That's the end of the road for your physical sort of fucking vessel. But again, energy. We are made up of energy and frequency. It is it's com- continues. It never dies. It never dies. So what happens to that energy? What happens to that those frequencies that you have created over the years of your existence. Hey, Laura, how are you? Good to see you. What happens to those frequencies and that energy that you've created? It's not, it doesn't die. It goes somewhere. So where does it go? I mean, does that imprint, if you will, of you, your energy imprint, if you will, your frequency imprint, does it go somewhere else? Does it transition? It's archived. It must be archived. It has to be. It has to go somewhere. And again, I kind of look at the Tibetan Book of the Dead, right? And I look at the metaphysical world because I mean, it does exist. It does. You can tell me that it doesn't, but you can't prove it doesn't. But it does. It's there. You know. And again, you need to that's the question. What happens to us after we die? When we die, the point of death, what happens? Death means the physical being. Your physical being dies. That's it. It dies. It doesn't go on, it just dies. But your energy frequencies, they go elsewhere. Do they carry on? Are they archived? Do they transition into a whole different realm? We don't know that. That's the question. That is the $1 million, $1 billion question that science can't explain right now, right? There are many theories out there, many theories out there. Are one of those theories correct? Are they, is the answer there? We just, hey, sitting on the fence about that answer? We don't know. The truth, the moment of truth, obviously, is when you die. You and only you will obtain those answers when you die. Maybe not. If nothing does happen, then obviously you will never know regardless. But uh, no, Neil, and that's the problem. I mean, there are people who do that. Their minds are open enough. You look at Tibetan monks. There are many people, but and there are people that aren't Tibetan monks that do expand their minds to truly understand Hey, Anne, how are you? Good to see you. The non-physical realm, if you will. I mean, it's there. I mean, it's all around us. I mean, how can you deny the non-physical world when it's all around us? Air, it's there. Our bodies are continuously interacting with the energies the environment uh, creates, the universe. It's there. You know, it's there. It's just a matter of being able to tap into it. But it's again, yeah, many people don't have the brain capacity or really care to understand that or learn to harness it because it's not important to them. I mean, in this day and age, the physical sort of realm, the materialistic thing is what's important to many people. Got to have that camera, got to have that, got to have the money. The money. Oh God. I mean, the money. Look at it like this. Look at money. And you look at the physical money, and then you look at the non-physical money. You look at money that's online. Your bank account's online, and the cashless society and how people think. Okay, how careless people are when they don't have the physical sort of funds in front of them, and how they overspend. People overspend because there's no barrier. There's no look at, I've got 30 physical dollars here. I that's all I can spend, and that's it. Whereas if that $30, that same $30 is in a bank account online, they'll spend over that. They'll find a way to spend over that $30 because it technically not there, but it's there. It's I don't know, stupid analogy, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that, but it's intriguing how your thought process is when you look at you look at cryptocurrency as opposed to real currency, a physical currency to uh, a non-physical currency, and a lot of people a lot of people's attitudes they change. Again, you're yeah, people will tend to find a way to overspend, and there's no repercussions, right? Other than you go further into debt, 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 debt. Whereas if you use physical money, you have boundaries. You have a barrier. You can't look at. You can only spend this much, and that's it. You know, you know, we'll leave credit cards out of that because it's credit cards is non-existent money. They give you a number that you work with, and you work within that boundary, right? Again, oh, I'll just use credit. I'll just use credit. I've got 5,000 non-existent dollars. You know, so but whatever. Now analogy is stupid, but whatever. So yeah, in the grand scheme of things, it's how we perceive death, and how we approach and life when it's like people knowing that their life is going to come to an end, that death is imminent. It's imminent for everyone, but some people obviously know uh, in advance that their time here on Earth is coming to an end. Now, it literally is how you perceive that sort of approaching moment. I mean, how you approach it, you dread it. And the dread is simply because, everything that you've experienced in life, the materialistic things that you've collected, the physicality of life is going to come to a screeching halt. Hey, Dazzy, how are you? Whereas if you can sort of lose that sort of mind, that mind thought that life isn't all about the physicality. It's about the non-physicality too, the metaphysical sort of aspect. And if you're able to just let go, at that particular time, if you've mentally prepared yourself to let go when your time comes, and that you're going to go to another place, uh, another realm, if you will, or whatever, then things are a lot more seamless. Of course, again, we don't know. You cross that boundary, and that might be it. You have no cliff to fall over, whatever. However, it's perceived in the afterlife, we don't know. We really don't know. Other than what, we're gone, and where we go, if we go anywhere, is the grand question. One that I think harnesses the paranormal world. In many cases, how many people look at the paranormal world, through religion, if you will. And again, if you look at the paranormal through a religious sort of standpoint, I personally think that you're boxing yourself in. You're not gonna get any further at all. You're not going to fully understand the paranormal. Um, So I think you really need to think outside that sort of religious box, uh, and allow science and theories to sort of take hold and say, "Hey, look at this is probably what's going on." You know, Science kind of theorizes that this is what may be happening, right? And you know, whatever. I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this, other than we're going down a wormhole, and that's what the paranormal is. It's a fucking wormhole. I'll go for another half hour. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think the paranormal is. You tell me your thoughts. And what I'll do is I'll open this up. I'll go for another 30 minutes or so. You guys tell me what you think. I'm always intrigued to hear what you guys think. And of course, you guys have said what you think in chat, but I mean, there might be somebody who might want to pop in here, and it is a fascinating wormhole. It just it create. You know what? The positive energy I think it creates is enormous. It is beyond, and it makes us really think. And I think that's the point. I think the point is to make us think. We need to think. We need to think logically about this. Um, and it's easy enough to say nothing happens. We're reincarnated. It's so easy to think those thoughts because we're not at that point in our lives where we are up against, you know, the end of the non-physical sort of realm that, sorry, the end of the physical realm that we're brought up to believe is the end all be all. Uh, Absolutely, Neil. I mean, there's just so much, and that's what I mean. Just think of all the people that have roamed this earth, that have left their imprints here over the years, and compounding and compounding over years and years and years. It's baffling. It's just baffling. Absolutely, it does make us better people. It makes us better in the sense that we understand a lot more. We try to understand a lot more. Uh, well, yeah, quantum physics, I do believe, would explain a lot more. Quantum physics are essential in to understanding more. Again, you know, uh, and you look at when you look at the quantum sort of entanglement or physics of things, and then you look at the different dimensions or different planes of existence. The universe now, many scientists believe, is a multiverse. And how, if that's the case, then what bearing does that have on us as a single entity here? I mean, are we single? I mean, are we integrated? Are we a part of a greater sort of mechanism, a much bigger network, much like you know, uh, the internet and computers and how they're attached? I mean, the matrix, if you will. I mean, are we? We don't know. I mean, the thing is, all we know is what we learn here during our physical sort of, aspect here on life, our time here on earth, which is short. I mean, literally, it's quite short. I mean, when you look at it, anywhere from 50 to 100 years, and that's it. I mean, there are people that get to live longer, not necessarily in a good way, but people do last longer. Um, let's see. Any big investigations coming up? Yeah, yeah. There's ongoing research going on. But I would like to kind of share with people here, in forms of content. You know, some of those investigations coming up, but it's again a lot of stuff. It's tricky to share because of people's privacy, locations privacy. Um, but I normally do like to get the okay to share. Um, and literally, it's not like your run of the mill stuff that you see here on social media. But the thing is, showing presenting to people like 4 hours of nothing happening is a reality, and I don't mind sharing that. But I mean, the thing is, are you guys going to watch? Are you really going to watch 4 hours of nothing happening? And that's not to say that always happens. There's always something that is really intriguing that does happen, that makes you makes you want to further that sort of research, if you will. And that's what I mean. Places like the Spruce Lane Farmhouse that we've been doing over the years. I mean, people, why do you keep going there? Well, because there's things that constantly happen there that we're trying to explain. Things constantly happen. A lot of it's explainable, but there are things that aren't explainable, right? That aren't. That look, why do I keep coming to the same location? Well, because there's something there that I want to understand, you know. And if it's going to further the history of the location, then great. I'll keep going there. I mean, that's what it's about. That's what investigating the paranormal is about. Is understanding a location. And you can't understand a location being there only one time. So ongoing research to me is vital to understanding a location and understanding the paranormal at the same time. The history's location. I mean, it's easy enough for somebody to go in there with spirit boxes and Ouija boards and recorders and so on and so on, and saying, determining if a place is haunted or not. And I laugh at people who do that. Well, look at here. I was in this location for two hours. Uh, look at the ghosts that we captured on film or whatever. It's like, seriously, seriously, bullshit. I call bullshit. I call bullshit because it is bullshit. I mean, you can investigate a location and something might happen. Yeah, that makes you want to look, hey, is it possible to come back here and try to further things? Then it's great when then the location or homeowner says, yeah, absolutely, I want to understand what's going on here too. So that's great, but I mean, you can't simply say in single visitation that something is paranormal or not. No, I wholeheartedly disagree with anybody who says that a location is haunted with just being there for a few hours. You don't live in that location. You're not like the people who are there on a daily basis, a day-to-day basis, that have been there for years and know every sound and nook and cranny that house produces, right? That's why in many cases it's good to have the homeowner or business owner there with you, because something happens, you can use them as reference. And if they're responsible enough, I mean, they just want to understand what's going on too. When you I would absolutely love that, Gareth. That would be awesome. And hopefully I was hoping, in October, I wanted to get there for the Urbageddon, but I don't know how things are going to play out now. You can't invest. It takes loads of absolutely, and any responsible uh, investigator or researcher of the paranormal will tell you that, right? Any, uh, yeah. So, what are your thoughts on the paranormal? What do you guys think? What do you think the paranormal is? What is the paranormal to you? What is it to you? I've seen people say, it's they're sitting on the fence. It doesn't exist. It does exist. It's this, it's that. I mean, realistically, what is it to you guys? What do you guys think the paranormal is? If you were to come out of the woodwork now and try to explain the paranormal, how would you explain it? What would you say that the paranormal answers the unexplained? I mean, yeah, another terminology for the paranormal, the unexplained, yet to be explained by science, yet to be explained through our current understanding. Anybody else? What do you think the paranormal is? Hmm? What do you think the paranormal is? Come on, guys. Come on. Now you're not so talkative. Come on, let's go. Click the link too if you want to come up and explain to me what you think the paranormal is. But yeah. All right, Tim. Take care. See you later. It's echoes of the past. A continual loop through time. Yeah, you've heard that quite often. It's a good way of looking at it, Neil. And a lot of things that people, when they're investigating the paranormal, uh, you do get that quite often. I mean, you do get that sort of that residual sort of moment, the residual sort of loop, if you will, that plays out maybe certain times of the day or just constantly in a location. You know, yeah. I mean, that is it's a very important aspect of investigating the paranormal, being able to determine, residual sort of a residual sort of aspect and say an intelligent haunting. I mean, what do you guys think about intelligent hauntings? I mean, what do you think the intelligent? I mean, if you ask a question and you get a response, and I'm not talking through a fucking spirit box either. I'm talking, maybe with a on a recorder in a Faraday cage or whatever. You ask a question, you get a clear and concise response to your question. Yeah, Ween, exactly. I mean, there you go. It could be anything. It could be a lot of things. Yeah, the visions of the past, parallel worlds. Exactly. I mean, are we dealing with a different realm, a dimension that we as humans, our brain capacity can't conceive, like the fourth dimension. But they can conceive us. Living here in the third dimension, if you will, in a 3D world. Can they make contact with us? But we don't understand. We don't understand because we can't contemplate the fourth dimension. I've heard that some of the modern military tech, like radar, produced high strange. Yeah, absolutely. Frequencies high. You never know. It'd be tricks. About tricks. Mind. Yeah. I mean, a lot of times human experience can be explained. I do believe human experience is not a good indicator of proof. Absolutely, Wayne. Um, how's it going, Sir Spookfest? Yeah, I do believe. Yeah, exactly. I mean, still, it doesn't say you discount it. I mean, you take it into the fold and you run with it and try to explain through your investigations and research, quite possibly what that experience might have been, right? Can you explain it? Right? Can you explain it? Can you recreate it? Were you able to record a similar experience, on video or audio or whatever? I mean, yeah, trying to understand that human experience is vital too. I do believe. Again, it's not proof, but again, you can use it as a reference point. The secrets of the universe are unlocked with energy, vibration, sound. Absolutely. The unseen world, the metaphysical world, which we were talking about earlier, Ryan, right? That is, I don't know if it necessarily provides all the secrets to the universe, but it does give us a starting point. It does explain a lot of things that the physical world doesn't, because we are limited in the physical world. I mean, it's a known fact. We are limited to our understanding. And again, you know, getting yourself known and used to the metaphysical world is, I think, very important. I think it's a great start that people truly. And let me tell you, this isn't something that you can understand in a few weeks. This is that in itself is a lifelong journey as well. It's a lifelong journey. It's a lifelong experience. Um, Trying to understand the metaphysical world. Death has layers, perhaps emotions, traumas linger in one place, battlefield. Yeah, residual. Absolutely, Neil. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I mean. Like, you go into a location and, a house and, you're hearing like cupboards closing or slamming, you hear that and you go, okay, I can't recreate it because this place is different now. But maybe at one point there was a cupboard that, maybe a woman would open and close, or she'd open it and would close by itself certain times of the day. Maybe the morning she was making her coffee, and getting her coffee out of the cupboard, she would slam that door. That door would just make that, unique noise, that unique sound, that imprint, and it plays out over and over again when you're in that house, years later. Again, it's getting to know what that sound could possibly be, if anything. After years of research, yep, the things we are not real and made of can be true, and almost all paranormal around us. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there is that school of thought. Absolutely. Uh, you know, all connected. UFOs. I mean, there are a lot of school of thought that the paranormal world or the spiritual world or whatever is controlled by the people that uh, you know basically created us, if you will. If altered our DNA, if you will. Beings from another, from another world, if you will, another planet, or however. Or is it us coming back, time traveling, and we went back and we altered the DNA of us to better sort of, um, survive. There's all sorts of theories that we could run with stuff like that. Tons. Are they real? We don't know. All we can do is theorize, in hopes that, maybe one of these theories will help us better understand what's going on. And one day soon, science will explain it. Science will explain it. The prairies. Yeah, interesting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's history text history has for many years included what we think might be ghosts or spirits or um, beings from an intelligent world other than Earth. Are we intelligent? That's a good question. Are we intelligent? Um, but light years ahead of us. With the pyramids, hieroglyphs, and India, you know, thousands of years ago, literally do present this kind of storyline. Is just how much of it is true? Is it just slang? Is it just somebody who's you know writing something down for the sheer writing of shit down? I mean, in biblical texts, the Dead Sea Scrolls, all sorts of things that sort of allude to this sort of spiritual realm that haunts us, no pun intended, until we die, until our time goes. Yeah, I don't know, but anyways, I think I'm going to end this. Nobody's coming up, so I'm going to end this. This has been a very intriguing conversation with you guys. I want to thank you. Uh, you guys are very intelligent, um, and very intriguing with your thoughts and your theories. I think they're great, and this discussion has been very healthy, and I really enjoy having you guys talk about your opinions and thoughts and so on and so on about the paranormal, the unseen world, and so on and so on. Um, this Sunday night, I'm looking forward to it. Alex and myself are really looking forward to it. We are going to have returning to the show after a couple of years, director Richard Stanley. You want to talk about somebody who really lays out the boundaries of the human experience. You gotta check Richard Stanley out. He's going to be here this Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 11 p.m. UK time. If you haven't catch the first time he was on the show, I think it's pinned on our page. Check it out. Watch it. The guy is a wealth of knowledge, live from the French Pyrenees, which in itself is a really intriguing zone. And the subject of a documentary that he made called The Other World. I'm looking forward to Richard coming back on and furthering our conversation. So, guys, do check it out. Again, that's this Sunday night, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 p.m. UK time. Until then, I don't know if I'm going to pop in here or not. I don't know. But if then, we'll see you Sunday night, guys. Take care. Please like and subscribe. Hit that like button. Leave your comments. Guys, leave your comments. Don't be so bashful. You guys need to leave your comments. Keep the conversation going. Until then, guys, take care. We'll see y'all later. Later.